So last night, we haven't discussed this yet on the show today, so this would be a good discussion. But last night, and I got a feeling this might be a tag team match. This might turn into a tag team match because I know that Kevin Gill and Ryan Satin are going to be on the same side on this. But last night, Brock Lesnar squashed Kevin Owens at the Garden. And just a squash. No offense, nothing but 1, 2, 3. And he
got a little bit of offense in at the beginning, but yes, correct. It was pretty much for the most part a squash, yes.
Okay, and so you tweeted out a GIF of the match, and you tweeted what did you tweet?
I just said this is depressing because it wasn't even a GIF of the match. It was an actual video of like the last few minutes of the match. It was like a minute and a half, and it was just Brock doing his suplex thing to Kevin Owens repeatedly, and then hitting the F5 and pinning him.
Okay, so what's theoretically, what is wrong with that heading into the biggest show of the year coming up in 3 weeks?
And Ryan, as a brief note of backstory, last week I had the audacity to suggest that perhaps squashing Kevin Owens and taking the title from him wasn't necessary to get over the whole epicness of the Goldberg thing. And things got explosively heated, so just be prepared for these guys to lose it as you prepare your statement.
First and foremost, let's get this out of the way. Let's mention, I don't know if it was fully mentioned, this was a house show. This isn't anything on TV, so when you mention, like, on the road to WrestleMania, like, a huge, huge, huge majority of people aren't going to ever see this. That's first and foremost. Secondly, I'm of the camp where I would say this match should have never taken place because, yes, while I agree that this is the way you have to book Brock Lesnar going forward and just in general, I don't understand the point of putting Kevin Owens in that role when Kevin Owens versus Brock Lesnar is a match that people have wanted to see for a very long time. Right. And the fact that it was wasted on a house show that not a lot of people are going to see and that it was treated as if Kevin Owens was just a Bo Dallas or a Kofi Kingston or something along those lines instead of the guy who just held the top title in the company for the past few months. Now, I understand also that he did that to John Cena, but it was a huge moment when he did that to John Cena that was on pay-per-view, that was treated as such. It depressed me because, in my opinion, it felt like the former champion who had helped carry the show for the past few months was being treated like that wasn't the case, like he was just some random wrestler on the card.
Well, compared to Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg, he is. Because Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg's aura is that they stand out from the rest of the card. They're not quote-unquote workers. They're the two real guys. So when these two real guys, and they don't do it that often, they're on very few shows, when they wrestle the quote-unquote workers, they have to kill them. Unfortunately, that's the universe that's been created for those two characters.
But that's not
like Ryan's saying, they don't have to match him up with Owens.
Yeah, and also that hasn't been the case though, Disco. Like that's crazy. Like what you're saying doesn't make sense because they haven't always booked Brock Lesnar to be completely dominant in every match. He has had long matches. It's not like he's never had a long match. He's been back for years and has had tons of longer matches. That's doesn't make sense. And also
no.
Because Goldberg as a quote unquote real wrestler because he does MMA in his spare time. So do lots of wrestlers in WWE. That doesn't make sense what you're saying,
bro. You're not selling this to guys like you're not selling this match to guys like you. Okay, guys like you are going to watch this match regardless. They have your dollar. You watch all the shows. You watch everything. We're trying to sell it to the people that don't watch wrestling.
First of all, don't say we because you don't work in WWE, so you can't say we are trying to do anything.
He is on the network, though, if you type in his name in the search engine.
We being the people that think this is a good idea.
Ryan, I wanted to ask you about something you had made mention of before. Okay. You know, the thing with the Kevin Owens thing is because you're a Kevin Owens fan and you're like kind of thinking like a fan, but obviously they're thinking of this as it is, what it is, a business. And like I promote a promotion. And if I kept thinking like a fan, I'd just have a niche audience. And that niche audience is growing. You know, more and more people are more into good wrestling matches. But still, the casual fan, that's what they want to see, Goldberg and Lesnar, and you got to keep them strong. And even though that, you know, Kevin Owens had to take a bullet, there's no major star that hasn't had to take a bullet a couple times in their career to help another guy, you know, get over. You know,
but as a promoter, would you have put one of your top guys? Let's say you were booking WWE. Would you have even booked that match? Because honestly, the way I really feel about this is that the match should not have even happened. Like I don't understand why he was put in that position.
Okay, if that's the
Twice.
question, probably not. But they're trying to make this as big as they can, and how can they do it? By knocking off one of their top guys, in a quick fashion. To give more legitimacy to these guys that need as much help as they can because they can't go in the ring anymore. Well, at least Goldberg can.
But you don't think that they did it at Madison Square Garden to almost have like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a best of both worlds scenario, because they obviously they didn't put this on Raw, even though Brock has been at Raw for the past couple of weeks. They didn't do something like this on Raw because they didn't want everyone to see it. They only wanted a small portion of the audience to see it. All the people who were on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram 24/7. So, I feel like it would just had more impact towards doing what you guys are saying of making him a bigger deal going into WrestleMania by putting that on TV or just by not having it I mean, I just personally feel like it shouldn't have happened, but if you're going to have it happen, why waste it at a house show? Why wouldn't you put it on Raw as like a main event? Treat your champion as such.
Here's the thing. This is what I think you're failing to realize, because you're a fan of his. Bro, this is not knocking him down a notch.
I didn't say it was. I didn't say it was. Those words have never come out of my mouth. All I said was
he is losing to Brock Lesnar. It isn't like he's losing to
right.
And I never said that. I'm just saying losing in a few minutes makes the guy who just held your top title for the past 6 months or whatever look very weak. And I don't understand the point of it.
Which agreed.
I'm saying it because I'm a fan and it shouldn't have happened. I just don't understand the point of doing that to your champion. There are literally 40 other guys on the roster they could have done that with, and they decided to do it with Owens and end it in a squash. To me, it just makes no sense. That's all.
First of all, he's not the champion anymore. Number two, he's in an angle that has nothing to do with Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg. He can get beat by those guys in 15 seconds every single night. His story is with Chris Jericho. So when they go out in that match, okay, people are engrossed in the Chris Jericho Kevin Owens storyline. The Brock Lesnar Bill Goldberg match, they're trying to build up two monsters fighting each other, and these guys unfortunately have to kill everybody, no matter who it is, on the way to that match. It's not that much, bro. We're talking 2 more weeks. Okay, these 2 losses by Kevin Owens are going to be forgotten 2 months from now. Okay, and so you have to build up. You have to get as many people as possible to watch your biggest show of the year, and the way you do that is by building 2 monsters fighting each other. The rest of the show
I'm not arguing that. I don't understand what you're talking. I literally haven't ever said that.
I want to know why you feel like you felt depressed.
Because I think if I was a booker, if I was in charge, just like Conan just said a second ago, just like if he was booking WWE, he never would have booked that match to begin with, because there's no point in making one of your top guys look less weak. They literally could have had that same thing that you guys are all talking about happen with 10 other guys on the roster.
Big Show could have done it.
Big Show could have done it. Mark Henry could have done it. Rusev could have done it. Like, literally, like, there are 10 people that could have done it that had the exact same impact.
Just so you know,
Kevin Owens in that category, it weakens your former champion.
And Sheamus could have done it.
As far as doing jobs, Maxell does no jobs too early, and Disco has now said on the podcast he will no longer do jobs.
Never again?
Never again. Is that what you said, DI?
Oh no! They said if anybody was ever going to bring me in, like back to Impact Wrestling or everything for a shot, I'm not going there to do a job.